Hi everybody, welcome to the South Australian Sports Show. Hope you can stay with us for the next hour. Plenty coming up on the show. Rob Popplestone not too far away to discuss what's happened in South Australian sport in the last 7 days. Don Cooper's going to come in for a chat, of course, former SANFL goal umpire, now calls radio for 5RPH in the SANFL, so have a good chat with Don. TJ Saunders is in with the state coach, Les Carter. Look forward to chatting with Les. He's got a pretty colourful career too, so it'll be a good one. Cheerio Netball Girls allowed us to go down to training, have a chat with their physio, Alan Gray, how to strap that ankle, what to look at for a hamstring injury, Achilles, what to talk about. So for those people at home with kids that have got ankle injuries, worth watching just to get across that. Jeff Baines is coming in, of course, the CEO of Norwood. He's going to come in with Mark Ross, who is the recruitment manager and the footy ops. So they had a big weekend last weekend, the Norwood Footy Club, so looking forward to chatting with them. But time now to get across everything that's happened in the last 7 days in South Australia. Sport related, Rob Popplestone. Poppy, how are you?
I'm not good. The season's over. We're finished. I mean, it's over. I know technically we can still make it, but you know me.
Sorry, are you Power or Crows now?
It doesn't matter because they're both gone.
They're both gone.
You know me, when the pressure's on.
You crumble.
When the going gets tough.
You'll crumble.
I give up.
Yep.
And I've given up on both of them. That was so disappointing for the Crows, firstly, to promise a win against a good side and then to fall away. And for Port Adelaide, well, you know what, I'm almost sick of saying it. But they're no good.
All right, which one would you like to talk about first? Well, let's talk about the Power, because that one seems to be cutting away at you. So they lost by 4 points to Carlton. They've now lost 5 out of their last 7 games. So their form isn't good.
What's
Ken
going
Heckley's
on?
coming out saying that they're not playing brave. They've lost their confidence, and maybe there's a part of that. And everyone will have a theory on what's gone wrong with them. I want to ask you about Bryce Gibbs and Robbie Gray first.
Okay.
Can we talk about that?
Let's
A lot
do
of things said about that. Okay. It wasn't a spear tackle.
It wasn't
a sling tackle. Now they've called it a swing tackle. So it's a two-motion one where he's pinned both arms and then swung him to the ground.
Okay.
He's got 2 games. He could have appealed and risked 3. Carlton chose not to do that. Mm-hmm. But Robbie Gray goes out of the game with concussions 2 minutes before the end of half-time. He's the leading clearance player on the ground.
And remained so until the end of the game.
Exactly right. Yep. And was playing brilliantly.
Yes.
Now, he's concussed, and I'm sure Gibbs didn't mean to concuss him, but he meant to hurt him within the rules of the game. I'm wondering if the AFL is that serious about protecting the head in a game like that where it's so important that a player is tackled to the ground and concussed.
Yes.
Does the player that concussed him then need to be suspended as well? So you're talking
a sin bin type.
Oh, exactly right.
Or a red card in soccer.
Exactly right, because I'm saying the Power have probably lost their best player.
Yes.
Gibbs is close to Carlton's best.
Yep.
It doesn't matter that they give him 2 games afterwards, because that doesn't help the Power in that game. The Power want to win that game right now. So I think if the doctors say, yes, he's got concussion, the umpires agree that he's been reported, then he's got to be taken out of the game.
Well, can you
balance it up?
Can you sin bin a player no matter what? I mean, in rugby league, when there's a tackle that is inappropriate, you can be sin bin even though there's no damage to the player. There's a lot of grey area in all of this,
sure.
And the point is this: if the tackle remained the same but Gray wasn't concussed and didn't leave the ground, does he get 2 weeks?
If Gray can come back in and play, then there's no problem. But if Gray can't come, or whoever it is, can't come back into the game and play, and you've been reported for it, why are you allowed to keep playing? Because it's a huge advantage for Carlton. Massive advantage.
No, I get that, and I agree with that 100%. But my point is, well, twofold. One is, I don't mind the sin bin red card mentality, because I've always been of the thought that you could actually, let's use an exaggerated example. Sometimes it's good to highlight a point. If I had a player sitting on my list that in a grand final, he couldn't play football for nuts, but he could fight like Mike Tyson, he could conceivably, under the rules of the game now, go out and clean up 3 or 4 players and not leave the ground. He could be a match winner. Now, he could get 50 weeks. It doesn't matter. He's been sitting on your list all year, waiting for the appropriate time to turn the game. We've saw unsociable football from Hawthorn. This would be taking it to the nth degree. So my point is, I've got no problem with a sin bin or red card being considered by the AFL. I think it's warranted. My problem is with umpires making those decisions. We know how we feel about the most basic of the decisions.
There's enough review panels now where there could be 2 people that could sit and review it.
Yeah, like they do a video goal or point or whatever it might be now.
Now, Bryce Gibbs mightn't come off immediately, but within 2 minutes they review it and they go, no, he's done. All right, he's off.
Well, so I grant you that. My next point is, though, given everything that happened, given that Gibbs tackled the way he did, and Gray hit the ground the way he did, except he popped back up and kept on playing, nothing's changed except the result to Gray. Now, does that not That's to me the grey area. Are you penalising on the result, or are you penalising on the actual tackle? Because they're actually penalising on the actual tackle, on the result. I mean, they're penalising the result. They're not penalising the tackle.
Well, Gray can't continue to play.
No, he can't.
If he got up and kept playing, then that's fine.
So the tackle's okay.
Well, he could still be reported afterwards.
Yes.
But there's no disadvantage to Power.
No, I get it. Yeah.
Other than the tackle and the ball gets lost. But there's no...
But that's
Gray continues to play the rest of the game.
But that's the case in any report. So if a player gets reported for any reason in one game and continues to play, he gets 3 weeks. Well, the benefit is to the opposition teams. Next 3 games.
I agree.
So I get your point. I think it's worth... I really think that you're onto something. I think it's worthy of consideration.
All right, now where are the Power at? I mean,
they're gone.
They've got
I told
the
you at the start, they're gone.
All right, they've got a bye. They're saying their problems are mental, that they've lost their confidence.
It's mental.
So how do they get around that? Who do they bring in? Who do the Power go to and go, we need to bring someone in that can get us in a bit of headspace? Is there anyone?
No, I think it's too late. I think they're gone. I think once you're cooked, and cooked is the word that I'm hearing from Port Adelaide people themselves, and I'm talking about former premiership players that are saying this team is cooked. I've spoken to them. Mentally, they're gone. Now, 1 week isn't going to improve that. It's not going to do it. I think, you know what they need to do? They need to go back to what Grenfell Dietrich said last week. They need to catch up at someone's house for a barbecue, have a drink, have a good time, relax, and come out with a new, fresh attitude. Forget the expectation. Forget finals. Just concentrate on enjoying football. What I've heard is that in an attempt to make the most of their window, we all agree that their window is right now, was they were doing everything within their powers. Not drinking, not going out, not socialising, 100% on football. But as soon as the pressure comes on, there's no release valve.
Fair call.
No release valve. When you've been there and done it, you need to let the losses wash over you and go again.
Yeah, look, I think there's still a chance. We saw Richmond.
No, they finished.
Well, Richmond did it last year. Richmond came and won.
Yeah.
So I think there's still a chance. We need to talk about the Crows because we're going to run out of time. I know you're on your bike, so keep pedalling.
Yeah.
Over 50,000 people at the game.
Yeah.
25 years. It was a Thursday night game. It was fantastic other than the result.
Yep.
Where are the Crows at?
I think they're gone too. I mean, I hate to be the bearer of bad news. I thought Port Adelaide, start of the year, top 4, absolutely 100%. Crows, best result, 8. 6 to 8, best result. Probably expectation 10 to 14. I think they're going to finish 10 to 14. Unless they can produce more than what they've produced. They're being okay. I mean, they were good up until three-quarter time.
All right, so they're with the Hawks for three quarters of the game, and then the last quarter, physically, Hawthorn imposed themselves in the game. The pressure got to it. They wore them out, and the Crows started to make some mistakes, which happens.
Yes.
Does that mean that we're going to see some... Let me ask you this. The Crows have just signed Douglas and Sloane.
Yeah.
Rory Laird's just signed for 3 more years with them. So they're signing players, the right kind of players.
Yeah.
What do they need to sign to be successful?
Well, so much has been made. In fact, I'm spitting. I'm so excited. So much has been made of the fact that we've got to sign Sloane and Douglas and Laird and Walker and Dangerfield. Well, they've signed everyone but Dangerfield. But guess what? All of those players they need to sign, they all played Thursday night.
And they lost.
Now, they didn't lose against a side that is currently in the top 4. That they lost against a side that was beaten by Port Adelaide, who have showed they're not in no form. They lost to a side that's been beaten by GWS. We're not talking about the Hawthorn of 3 years ago. This Hawthorn side is a good side, don't get me wrong, but they're not playing with the same intent as a Fremantle, a Sydney, a West Coast Eagles.
Stage,
I mean, they're being beaten at home, 50,000 people, celebrating 25 years, everything to play for. They get done by 5 goals. And they've got all the players that they say they want.
All right, don't go to the footy anymore. Crows and Power. According to Rob Popplestone, I think you should go and support your team.
I'm barracking for the Bulldogs
Just
now.
quickly, now I know you know Amy Herman, of course, on Friday had a tragic fall in hospital at the moment in an induced coma in a stable condition, hopefully improving.
Yes. Look, I'm actually a Facebook friend of her and a lot of the people down at the track. Amy Herman is quite, physically, and I think this may have helped her, I don't know this, physically as strong a woman as you'll ever come across. Like, she's a beautiful feminine woman, but she's as strong a woman as you'll ever come across. And I think that may have helped it being actually worse. In an induced coma. Apparently surgery, I saw the family's report this morning, apparently surgery was successful.
Yes.
Let's just hope that she comes out the other side with no long-lasting effects. But it has affected other people, and I'll just make mention of Scott Westover, who's a fellow jockey, who was also the boyfriend of Caitlin Forrest, who tragically passed away. And we spoke about Caitlin with Libby Hopwood a few weeks back. On the back of Amy being injured, Scotty said, you know what, I'm finished.
Enough.
I'm finished. Emotionally, it just drained him. And he's just decided that it's time to hang up the whip.
Yeah, well, hopefully Amy will improve quickly. Jason Cripps, good report on him.
Yes, good.
Out of the induced coma and talking with family, so he's in a good spot. We need to get to a break. Plenty to come. Stay with us.